Terps back on the hardwood Friday night against Oregon. Maryland finishes the pre-conference. They played a couple conference games, but you get the gist of it. The non-conference stuff at 7-6. Here to share his impressions of the team as he's seen it. Talk some NBA, too, as we're flipping the calendar year to 2026. Maryland legend, longtime NBA standout. He was a lottery pick. And most importantly, he's our buddy here on the Fan. He's on the Window Nation guest hotline. He's the wizard, Walt Williams. Walt, Merry Christmas, belated, happy holidays, and Happy New Year. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. All those things to you as well, brother. Happy holidays.
Yeah, man, let's do it. As we get into 2026, we had Buzz Williams on yesterday talking about his team. I mean, and we know injuries have been a major problem for him just getting a practice session together. Definitely in the games. You've seen 13 games. Walt, what do you make of Maryland in regards to their potential? Or are they what the record says they are? Is there more to this equation here?
Well, you know, when you talk about injuries, things like that become even more significant when you're talking about the environment that college is in, where everybody's it's virtually a new team every season. So I think it's a even playing slate when you talk about new additions to the team and things like that. Everybody deals with that, but then when you add to the equation injury, that really hurts your ability to get guys on the same page. So it's been a little tough for the Terps early on. I think going into this Big Ten season, it's going to get even tougher, with how big teams are. The Terps is a smaller size team. And then when you talk about Pharrell being hurt, that hurts this team even more. But you look at the way they've been playing as of late, you can see the intensity on the defensive end. Perimeter defense has stepped up. They're getting more deflections and steals, and that allows them to get out and transition more. And they also adapted to a more up-tempo and, a drive and kick type of game with Pharrell out of there. So they've made adjustments along the way, and it is, when you saw them against Old Dominion last night, it really was a solid performance, especially in that first half. Second half was a little bit lackadaisical, but that's understandable. Hey, they got out to a big lead. They played very good in that first half on both ends. And so, they got to bottle that and take it with them to the next game and on through the Big Ten season.
Now, Walt, we know you mentioned Pharrell Payne. When he plays, he's the best player on the floor for them. But we've seen Solomon Washington coming back from an extended injury stay, and he's played well, played 13-13 a couple of nights ago against Old Dominion. But based on the players that you've seen, and Rodney Rice out for the year, unfortunately, at USC. But Miles Rice, the transfer from Indiana by way of Washington State, among others, who's the guy that needs to really step up if Buzz Williams can maximize the potential of this team? Who's the guy that really needs to take the play to another level here?
I don't think it's one guy. I think it's multiple guys. You just mentioned one in Miles Rice. He hasn't been consistent at all yet this season, and you expect him. This Terps team is a inexperienced team. It's a lot of guys who are getting playing time for the first time. A lot of redshirt freshmen and stuff like that. And so you look at a guy like Miles Rice, who's been in the fire at a high level. So you look for him to be a bit more of a leader and somebody who can perform more consistently. So looking for him to be more consistent on the perimeter. Watts as well. He's shown that he can have moments, and so you're looking for him to be more consistent as well. A guy like Solomon, he's going to do what he does, man. He's a scrapper. He can play. He can defend multiple positions. He's going to do the dirty work for you. And so, he's an intricate part of what this team is going to do. And also, he also has a pulse on the team's mentality. When he comes aggressive like that, I think that the team has been taking on his personality. So, he's been thrust to the forefront of things with Pharrell being hurt.
Another guy I wanted to ask you about is Darius Adams, and a highly touted freshman coming out and And he's one of the guys that stepped up the other night in Payne's absence. But what have you seen from him early in his college career? Seems to be more of a volume shooter to me.
Yeah, he's the guy to me who's been the most consistent. He's the guy who's been getting it done in multiple ways, being able to score, getting to the basket, getting to the free throw line, shooting it from the outside. He hit a couple of threes yesterday. This guy's running a point for us at times. He's never been a point guard before, so we're using him in very different ways. He's been like a utility guy for us. He is a freshman, so those freshmen play, they are up and down, so that's expected. So that's why I lean towards Rice and Watts, guys who had experience, who you tend to lean on to be more consistent. Adams is a guy who has a multitude of talent, so you expect him to have an impact on the game. You don't know if it's going to be consistent as normally freshmen are not consistent in that first year. So, but I mean, like I said, he's got good length. He gets to the basket. He can handle. He facilitates. So he does a lot of different things for this Terp team.
And over to the NBA here. I mean, this news coming out last night, today, the Nikola Jokic injury. I mean, it sucks from a fan's perspective. You lose one of the most entertaining guys in the league. But for the MVP race, depending on how many games he misses, he might not even qualify for the MVP award. At that point, does SGA run away with this thing? Does Luka Doncic give him a run for his money, maybe win his first MVP?
Well, I think it depends on what the Lakers' record is. Luka's definitely off to a fantastic start. He's been putting in work, man, and so he's definitely a different player with losing that weight. And so he's been a guy who's been consistent. He's been hurt a little bit early on as well. So, but SGA is just doing his thing out there, man. He's been performing. The team is playing well. So I think that it's his race to lose with Joker being out of the equation.
He's the Wizard, Walt Williams, Maryland legend, longtime NBA standout. Walt, last thing for you. And, J.J. Redick made the infamous, hey, Bob Cousy played against plumbers. And Dominique Wilkins recently was like, hey, we get it, the game's changed, but you don't have to crap all over us to make it sound like you're all that great. Look, 7-year-olds can dribble the ball the way NBA guys dribble it nowadays, but I guarantee you can't hit a mid-range jump shot. So could Walt Williams play in today's NBA, Walton? Do you get frustrated with the slander coming towards an era that was, Bill Clinton was president? I mean, wasn't that long ago. It's not like you were in a peach basket and still had laces on a basketball, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. There's no question. I would be a much better player in this environment where defensively you can't even touch guys on the perimeter. There's no guys in the paint area. In my day, when you beat somebody off the dribble, not only were they more physical and can use their hands more, so even if you were quicker than guys, they could kind of control you at some point about putting hands on you. And so it always reverted back to what's your skill set like, not how athletic or quick you are, because guys could neutralize that. Also, when you beat guys off the dribble, there was always somebody in the paint area waiting for you. So in this environment, you beat a guy off the dribble, it's an open lane. So you got guys chasing you rather than somebody sitting there waiting on you. So, and also when you're talking about being physical on the perimeter, when a guy comes across half court, if I can face the basketball court and see the whole floor, that puts me at an advantage, and also I'm able to get downhill more. When guys in my day, guys were able to push up on you because they could be more handsy, which ultimately turns the offensive player to the side a little bit. So now he's not as aggressive, he's not as downhill, he can't see the floor as readily as if he was if the hands were off of him. So this environment in which these guys play in now is much more conducive to the offense. They give them an extra step and a half. It's just so many advantages, man. If I played under these conditions, no question I'll be a much better player. So somebody like the coach from the Lakers saying something like that, especially J.J. Redick. I mean, the way he played, I couldn't understand. I can't understand why he would say something like that. He wasn't a guy that had handles or any sort of like that. All he could do was just shoot the ball. He's very one-dimensional. So for him to critique, our day compared to today's game, I mean, I don't see him with any credentials in order to do that for sure. I've just given you so many advantages that today's game has over when I played. So if we played under those conditions, it would absolutely, man, it would be a easier game. Absolutely.